Hey boys and girls, it is Miss Oates, and today we're going to be reviewing three-digit numbers. Specifically, we're going to be talking about how you can represent three-digit numbers in different ways. So let's go back over some vocabulary terms. Our first vocabulary term is digit, and a digit is a symbol that is used to write numbers. So you're probably very familiar with these numbers, but 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are different digits, and where they're placed in a number tells you how much they are worth. So when we're talking about place value, we're talking about where the digit is placed and how much it is worth. So for example, if you notice this chart, it says hundreds, tens, and ones, and each number in the chart is the same number 4. But each 4 is worth something different because of where it's placed. So the 4 in the hundreds place is worth 400. And if you notice, the digit 0 is placed in the 10 spot and the 1 spot. That means that there are 0 tens and 0 ones and 400. The digit 4 is placed in the 10 spot by putting it 4, then 0, showing that there's 0 ones and 40. And then finally, the digit 4 in the ones place, it's by itself. It just shows that there's only 4 things there. Now, another way to represent a number is with base 10 blocks. So we have a hundreds flat, a tens rod, and a ones bit or piece or a ones. So I can represent this number 444 by placing the base 10 blocks under the correct category. So for 444, there are 4 hundreds. So I'm going to put 4 of these flats under the chart. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. In 444, there are 4 tens. So I'm going to put 4 tens rods underneath the tens place. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then in 444, there are only 4 ones, so I'm going to take a bit, I'm going to put 4 bits underneath the ones part. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I love about base 10 blocks is it shows you that even though we have the same digit in every place value, the 4 in the hundreds place is worth a lot more because you see a lot more of these 1 bits. We can tell that the 4 tens is worth a little bit more than the ones, but it's not worth as much as the hundreds. And then same for the ones. We can tell that the 4 ones are not worth as much as the tens or the hundreds because there's not as many. I mean, think about it like this. What would you rather have? $400, 4 tens dollars, or 4 $1? 4 $1 bills. I'd rather have the hundreds because they're worth a lot more and I want a lot of money. All right, then another way to represent numbers is with expanded form. And expanded form is a way a number is written to show the place value of each digit. So take a look at this example right here. As you can see, we have the number 444, and then an equal sign. What this equal sign tells us is that both sides are equal together. That means the sign on this left side is worth the same as the side on the right. So what I did was I split apart my numbers by hundreds, tens, and ones. So I wrote 400, so 400, plus sign to show that I'm adding it together, 40, 40, plus 4. Meaning, if I were to add all of this together, 4 hundreds, there's no hundreds over here, there's no hundreds over here, that's 4, all right? Tens, 0 tens and 400, all right? Oops. 4 tens and 40, and then there's 0 tens and 4, that's going to be worth 4 tens. And then finally ones, there's 0 ones and 400, Then there's 0 ones and 40, and then there's only 4 ones and 4. That means that number will equal up to 444. All right, another way to represent 444 could be like this. Instead of adding zeros, I just write it out. So I show 4 hundreds plus 4 tens plus 4 ones. So instead of placing the zeros in the tens spot or the ones place for 4 hundreds, I just write the words hundreds. You can also break apart the hundreds place a little bit more. So for example, in this example, what this shows is that 444 is also the same as 300 plus 140 plus 4. So 444 is the same as 3 hundreds, 14 tens, and 4 ones. And I can show that this is true by adding my 3 numbers up together. So I have 300s and 300, 100 and 140, and I have 0 hundreds and 4, so that would equal 4. All right, let's add up my tens now. I have 0 tens and 300, I have 4 tens and 140, and I have 0 tens and 4 ones. So that's 4. And then I have 0 ones and 300, 0 ones and 140, and then I only have 4 ones right here. So 444 is the same as 300 plus 140 plus 4. It's just broken apart. All right, boys and girls, so now we're going to practice representing this 3-digit number in different ways. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to identify the digits and what place value that they're under, so how much they're worth. And in this number, I have 7, 5, and 6. The 7 is located in the hundreds place, so that means I have 7 hundreds. This number has a 5 in the tens place, so that means that I have 5 tens. Finally, the 6 is in the ones place, so that means I have 6 ones. Now, I can also represent this number, 756, with base 10 blocks. So for the hundreds, I'm going to place 7 flats underneath the hundreds category. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That shows my 700. I have 5 tens, so I'm going to place 5 tens rods underneath the tens category. 1, 2, come on, click and drag. 3, 4, and 5. Finally, I have 6 ones, so I'm going to place 6 ones pieces or bits underneath the ones column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So in my base 10 blocks, I'm showing 7 hundreds, 5 tens rods, and then 6 bits to show 756. Okay? And then I'm also going to go over here to my addition sentences, and I'm going to think of 3 different ways to show 756. This part right here is equal to, so I'm going to fill in the blanks with 756. What this means is that my right side needs to all equal up to 756. Now this first way is pretty easy because I'm just going to use 7, 5, and 6. So I'm going to show that 756 has 7 hundreds, so 700. I'm also going to show that 756 has 5 tens by writing 50, 50. And then I'm also going to show that 756 has 6 ones just by writing 6 in the ones place. Okay, so I broke apart that number to show its hundreds, tens, and ones. Let's see if I can think of a different way. Well, what if I didn't have any hundreds flat, hundreds, or tens? What if I had nothing but ones pieces? How many ones pieces would I have? I would have 756 little ones bits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show that there are 0 hundreds. I'm going to show that there are 0 tens. And I'm going to show that there are 756 ones pieces. So this would be a different way to show 756. All right, let me think of a third way to show 756, something a little bit different. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take away a hundreds piece. So before I take away that flat, I need to take that flat and I'm going to transfer those into rods. So we learned in a previous lesson that it takes 10 rods to equal 1 flat. So how many rods do I need to put up here in the tens place? 10. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to delete this and I'm going to add 10 rods up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let me make sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, awesome. So, and I'm gonna leave my ones alone. Now I'm gonna go ahead and count up my my flats. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flats, or 600. So over here, my expanded form sentence, I'm gonna write 600 to show that I have 600. All right, let's go over to my tens place. I'm gonna count up my tens now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now I have 15 tens, and I can represent that by writing a 1, 5, and then a 0 to show that there are 0 ones and 150. So now I have 150 tens. All right, and then my ones is going to stay the same, but just adding a 6. So what this shows, boys and girls, is that 600 plus 150 plus 6 equals 756. Wow, that's a lot of tens blocks.